Trump has a secret Chinese bank account, and he got paid millions from it. Wait, is that true? Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell, and this is yet another segment of, wait, is that true? And guys, I have a breaking story that could swing the election. Forget about Hunter Biden and whatever may or may not be on his laptop, or whatever his former business partners say about him. Seriously, please forget about that. Because Donald Tough on China Trump has a secret Chinese bank account.
We know that he continues to do business with China because he's got a secret Chinese bank account.
Nancy Pelosi says it's a national security issue. Now, I have to work fast on this story because I'm sure it's only a matter of time before Twitter and Facebook try to scrub this story from the internet. I mean, they scrubbed the Hunter Biden story already. Now, there will be people who will try to dismiss the Trump secret Chinese bank account as just Chinese disinformation. Oh wait, wrong headline. Anyway, the story of Trump's secret bank account is based on this report from the New York Times. Now, reading is lame. That's why I turn to my #1 fact checker, Rachel Maddow, for a summary.
The Trump business entity that holds that secret Chinese bank account is called Trump International Hotels Management. That entity, in turn, owns something called THC China Development. It's a Trump company with a Chinese bank account. That company, mysteriously, according to the Times, showed a huge spike in revenue out of the blue in 2017, right after Trump was sworn in as president. The revenue spike was, according to the Times, $17.5 million. That's more revenue that had come into that company in the previous 5 years combined. But Trump became president. All of a sudden, there was this huge new unexplained influx of money into that company with this Chinese bank account. It comes in from who knows where, but it goes out as cash into the president's pocket.
Now that sounds pretty damning. But wait, is that true? Let's start with that secret bank account. Having a bank account in China is not suspicious by itself because you need to have one to do business there. And Trump was definitely trying to do business there. But it's the secret part that makes it sound really suspicious. According to the New York Times, Trump has bank accounts in 3 foreign countries, but the foreign accounts do not show up on Mr. Trump's public financial disclosures, where he must list personal assets because they are held under corporate names. Okay, so this secret bank account isn't on his public financial disclosures because those only cover Trump's personal assets and not his corporate bank accounts. Although Trump did report this Chinese bank account in his taxes. And I suppose telling the U.S. government about something makes it not secret. But that's besides the point. Trump clearly took millions of dollars from his Chinese bank account. Unless you actually read the New York Times article. The Chinese account is controlled by Trump International Hotels Management, LLC. And according to Trump's tax records, Trump International Hotels Management reported just a few $1,000s from China. Wait, a few $1,000s? What happened to the $17.5 million? Okay, so according to the Times, the not really secret Chinese bank account was being used by Trump International Hotels Management while it was pursuing licensing deals there from 2013 to 2015. Alan Garton, a lawyer for the Trump Organization, said the company had opened an account with a Chinese bank having offices in the United States in order to pay the local taxes associated with efforts to do business there. And according to the lawyer, no deals, transactions, or other business activities ever materialized, and since 2015, the office has remained inactive. Wait, so this is all from before Trump was president? But what about the $17.5 million? According to Rachel Maddow, Trump International Hotels Management owns a company Trump was using in China, THC China Development. And Maddow says THC China Development got the mysterious $17.5 million. That is wrong. She's conflating the two companies. It was actually Trump International Hotels Management that got the money. And that's a pretty big difference because, according to the Times, Trump International Hotels Management is also involved in management of other Trump-branded properties around the world, and it is not possible to discern from its tax records how much of its financial activity is China-related. In other words, it's not clear how much of the $17.5 million came from China and how much came from Trump hotel businesses in other countries. Still, $17.5 million is a big spike in revenue, and it's listed in Trump's financial disclosures as management fees and other contract payments, so we don't know what that money is specifically from. But the Times has another explanation for at least part of that money. 2017 was the year Trump International Hotels Management was bought out of its management contract for the Soho Hotel in New York, which Bloomberg reported to have cost around $6 million. That has nothing to do with China. And suddenly the story of Trump getting paid $17.5 million through a secret Chinese bank account while he was president looks not true. It reminds me of another "Wait, is that true?" video I did about Rachel Maddow accusing Trump of owing millions of dollars to China. Check that episode out. But Trump did make some money in China, according to his tax returns. The tax records show Trump International Hotels Management, LLC, paid $188,000 in taxes in China while pursuing licensing deals there from 2013 to 2015. China's corporate tax rate is roughly 25% of profits. So from that calculation, Trump's company made a little more than $500,000 in China over the course of 3 years, after taxes. Now, some people are saying that Trump paid more taxes in China than in the US, which conflates corporate taxes with personal income taxes. Trump's companies definitely paid more in taxes in the US than they did in China. But the larger issue here is Trump's business deals in China, and whether that influences his actions as president, which is really important to know. And the media should absolutely be looking into Trump's China business pursuits. But it's not helpful when that turns into dunking on Trump for having a secret Chinese bank account when it wasn't really secret, or when it turns into fudging the facts to make it seem like he was paid by China while he was president. But again, that doesn't mean the media shouldn't be looking into the president's China ties. In fact, originally, I had wanted to put some more information about Trump's China businesses in this episode, but there's too much to cover. Would you like me to do a separate episode on Trump's Chinese business deals? Let me know in the comments below. And thank you once again for joining me on another segment of Wait, is that true? Now, before you go, did you know that 2/3 of people who watch America Uncovered aren't subscribed? So please, you can really help this channel out by hitting that subscribe button. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching America Uncovered.